Television hasn't always loved Lucy.
Lucy would have been on the scrap heap with, all the other failed programs from the 50s.
It took a big deal to create one of the most popular TV shows of all time. At the center of it all, a Hollywood couple with big dreams and even bigger problems.
He was gone most of the year while she was stuck in Hollywood doing movies.
If only they could convince a powerful TV network to let them work together.
CBS didn't take Desi seriously at all.
Their only hope? A big deal done on their terms. This is the story of how Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz cut a deal that forever changed what we watch on television. (1950). A new medium is dominating American airwaves: television. The TV networks scramble to find innovative programming ideas. One source is the world of radio. At CBS, one star who's eager to take the leap into television is a spunky, red-headed movie actress turned radio star, Lucille Ball.
Okay, Kay, don't be ridiculous. Well, you just met me.
Lucy was a successful sitcom star on radio. She had a show, My Favorite Husband, which was a hit show.
On the air, Lucy plays a fun-loving housewife married to a serious Midwestern banker.
We present My Favorite Husband, starring Lucille Ball with Richard Denning.
Oh, waiter. Waiter, we know what we want. Waiter.
Lucy also has more than 60 movie credits under her belt, but her film career is on the decline.
She was starting to get a little bit older, and the parts that she wanted were getting harder and harder to come by.
By 1950, what concerns Lucy even more than acting is her personal life. The 38-year-old actress has been married almost 10 years, but her husband is hardly ever home. A successful Cuban band leader, he spends practically 10 months out of the year touring with his band. His name is Desiderio Alberto Arnaz Ideacha III, Desi Arnaz.
Desi had that Latin charm, and a lot of women would chase him, which Lucille would go crazy about because she knew that he could have a wandering eye.
Their relationship was deteriorating very badly. Desi would play around. With Lucy, this was not the relationship that she wanted.
What Lucy wants is a family. She's convinced the only way to save her marriage is to get Desi a job working close to home, or better yet, something they could do together. The traveling band leader is willing to settle down if it will salvage his marriage. It would be a way to spend more time at their ranch in the San Fernando Valley. At the Columbia Broadcasting System, 48-year-old network head William S. Paley has been keeping his eye on Lucy. A broadcast visionary, Paley has ruled the network with an iron fist since taking it over in 1928. But while CBS is a powerhouse in radio, rival network NBC has the top-rated shows in the new medium of television.
The #1 show was Texaco Star Theater, starring Milton Berle, who was known as Mr. Television. And his work was selling a lot of televisions. And CBS really wanted to have a show that would be like that.
CBS West Coast programming chief Harry Ackerman thinks Lucille Ball has potential on the small screen. He wants to transform her hit radio show, My Favorite Husband, into a television series. Lucy likes the idea.
Lucy told William Paley that if she could not work with Desi in Hollywood, she would give up her Hollywood career and to be with him.
Lucy not only wants to work with Desi, she wants Desi to star in the show as her on-screen husband. But Paley doesn't think audiences will buy a Cuban-born Desi playing the role.
Desi was perceived as the husband of Lucille Ball with a thick Cuban accent and a wonderful band leader, but in no way did they conceive him as being the husband of an all-American woman like Lucille Ball.
CBS didn't take Desi seriously at all. I mean, he was the last person they would have considered for this role.
Paley won't take the risk. If Desi is out, Lucy walks. Spring 1950. Lucy and Desi are determined to prove they have what it takes, with or without CBS. They form their own production company and make plans to put on a nationwide vaudeville comedy tour starring themselves. It's a pricey gamble, costing almost $20,000 of their own money. If the show's a success, they figure CBS might change their mind. If not, Desi plans to shop the show around to other networks.
Desi was a very good businessman, a very quick study. He was very tenacious.
He was going to put his career on the line as a band leader. She was going to put her movie career on the line. And they had everything riding on it, and they were desperate for this program to happen.
The tour is a huge success. Lucy and Desi's agent, Don Sharp, pitches CBS again and starts calling the other networks.
CBS was not the only ball game in town at that time. NBC did have interest in Lucy.
In December of that year, with CBS's rival network NBC eyeing their red-headed star and her Cuban husband, William Paley and programming executive Harry Ackerman decide to take a chance. They offer the Arnezes a deal, but the couple will only make the deal on their own terms. First, Lucy wants Jess Oppenheimer, her radio producer from My Favorite Husband, to head the TV show. Second, they want the program to be produced in Hollywood so Lucy can continue making movies. Third, Desi wants their production company, Desilu Productions, to own half of the new show. Paley accepts Lucy and Desi's terms in part. He offers to finance a pilot for a series starring the couple, but there's no guarantee. The series will only go into production if CBS can find a sponsor to help foot the bill.
Most of the programs at that time were all funded by single sponsors. And the sponsors had a lot of clout because it was their money that was putting the programs on the air.
The pilot for a Lucy Desi sitcom is recorded at the CBS studios in Los Angeles. It's Desi's 34th birthday. Writer-producer Jess Oppenheimer has reshaped the pilot's storyline to better suit the real-life couple. Titled I Love Lucy, it now features a Latin band leader and his zany wife. Copies of the pilot are sent to all the top New York advertising agencies who control sponsorship dollars. Lucy and Desi sit back and wait. April 23rd, 1951. Almost 7 weeks after the pilot is sent to New York, shrewd ad executive Milton Beo finally decides to take a chance.
He was a very bright man who controlled the agency. He was very important, small but mighty, who controlled a few major sponsors like Philip Morris.
And tobacco giant Philip Morris is interested. It's announced to the press that Beo's client will pay close to $20,000 per episode to sponsor the first season of 39 episodes, a grand total of nearly $800,000.
It was the answer to all of her prayers. They were going to live at the ranch, raise a family, and work together and save her marriage.
It all seems too good to be true. And it is. May 7th, 1951. 2 weeks after Philip Morris signs on to fund the show, Milton Beo telephones Lucy's producer, Jess Oppenheimer. It turns out to be a wake-up call.
They had a deal, the wheels were in motion, everything was going great, and all of a sudden, boom, no deal.